Hi B, how are you? Hello Aurora, hello, hi Flor Trujillo. Hello, 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 hello. Hello, hello. So tonight we're gonna be going over the commandments again. I'm sorry, I want to finish the explanation of every commandment until we get to number one. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. There, B. So I wanna continue with the explanation of commandment number nine tonight. And I'm gonna go over all the commandments. I'm gonna give it a little bit of time before we start actually going through the explanation. So we've been through 13, 12, 11, and 10. And I'm gonna start again going over all of them. Thank you so very much. I appreciate that comment. Thank you there, user 7510436903345. Thank you for that. Again, so we're gonna go over the commandments again. Should I go over them now? You guys ready? All right. So over on TikTok, if you guys can, show me some love. If you guys like what you're hearing, tap the screen. If you guys like what you're hearing over on YouTube, give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. If you guys have any commentary, positive or negative, that's fine. You know, on YouTube yesterday, I had a lot of negative energy, but at the end of the day, I still go to sleep, and I still woke up, so I'm still good. All right. So thank you so very much for my people on TikTok. Thanks so much. Like TikTok, I'm getting answers or questions right now. Hey Christine, how are you? Hola. What's your feelings about the cartel? My feelings are if the American population didn't consume so many drugs, they wouldn't be in business. That's my feeling about the cartel. If the Americas didn't consume so much cocaine, they wouldn't be in business. We keep them in business. This nation keeps them in business. The world keeps them in business. What I feel about the cartels is they're businessmen and they're making good business, I guess. I mean, the world consumes it. That's my feeling about that. Are they wicked men? Nah, I think they're opportunists and they make money. So what is my feeling about the cartels? Oh, you're trying to you see all the only reason why they asked me is they want to link Santa Muerte to it. The cartels praise San Judas and Jesus Christ as well. So again, if that makes Santa Muerte guilty by association, so does it make it for San Judas and any priest or any um, saint that blesses them? So, eh. All right. So I'm gonna start with this. All right. I'm gonna start with this. Thanks so much for my gifts over on TikTok. Be blessed on forever. Thank you so very much. Um, all right. So you guys ready? It's all connected. Santa Muerte and Jesus are. It's all in one. I know. Bless you, Raj, Jake. Bless you. Thank you. So I'm gonna start with the 17 commandments that we came up with. Let me silence my phone so I'm not being rude. Don't think that I'm trying to be rude. I've been waiting for people to call me and message me and they don't. My son is calling me. Let me just answer this real quick. I'm sorry. I'll be right back. Give me 1 minute. What up, papacito? All right, as y'all know, with my son tonight, so I had to say goodnight to my. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. All right, so we're gonna begin with the 13 commandments. Nothing to respect over here to you two. Saying commandments. Then we're gonna go into explanation. Uh, Hi, GL. I'm gonna call you Gemini lesbian and see if we don't get banned. All right. So we're gonna start with the 13 commandments again for those that are here for the first time, and then we're gonna go into a deep explanation of the ninth tonight. So we've done the 13th, 12th, 11th, and 10th. We're on to number 9. If you missed any of the first 4, you guys go over to YouTube. The video's saved there, so you guys can go and check it out. All right. So we're gonna start without further ado. Number 13. And these are the commandments that I came up with. I took the liberty of rewriting and taking some out, adding some new ones. I collected all the lists I could from internet and my books that I have here, and I made my own list. And again, since God has the 10 commandments already sewed up, I made it 13 because 13 is Santa Muerte's number. All right. So I hope no one takes offense to this. And Isaac, it's not a competition. Just so you know, spirituality isn't a competition. Sometimes we gotta grow up and understand that spirituality is not what's best for you, but what's best for the individual. All right, here we go. Number 13, seek justice with fairness and compassion. 13, seek justice with fairness and compassion. Small explanation is La Santísima Muerte values impartiality and justice. When seeking justice, ensure your choices are fair, balanced, and filled with compassion, avoiding prejudice or bias, and always considering the greater good. Number 12, live in harmony with the natural and spiritual worlds. Number 12, live in harmony with the natural and spiritual worlds. Respect and care for the earth and all living beings, as well as the spiritual forces that guide and protect you, recognizing the interconnectedness of life under the care of La Santísima Muerte. 11. Honor the dead and ancestors. 11. Honor the dead and ancestors. Show respect and remembrance for the dead, including your ancestors, acknowledging the eternal bond between the living and the departed and the spiritual world. 10. Offer prayers and rituals with sincerity. Offer prayers and rituals with sincerity. When you pray to, or perform rituals in the name of La Santa Muerte, do so with pure heart and sincere intentions, knowing that she values your devotion and authenticity. Number 9, which is the one we're going to go over today. Number 9, protect the weak, vulnerable, and children. Protect the weak, vulnerable, and children. Defend and support those who are weak, oppressed, marginalized, and especially children, as La Santísima Muerte watches over and safeguards those in need. Number 8, embrace the cycles of life and death. Number 8, embrace the cycles of life and death. Understand and accept the natural cycles of life and death, knowing that La Santísima Muerte governs these transitions with grace and wisdom. Number 7, seek abundance and success with honesty. Seek abundance and success with honesty. It is natural to seek financial support in times of need. When praying to La Santa Muerte for abundance and success, do it with honest intentions. Remember not to covet others' worldly riches and avoid exploiting her name for greed or harmful purposes. All right, here we go. Number 6, use power and spiritual knowledge with integrity. Number 6, use power and spiritual knowledge with integrity. Refrain from actions that would harm your spirituality or religion. Use any spiritual or earthly power granted to you responsibly, always with truth and integrity, never for selfish gain or to exploit others. Awesome. Number 5, harm none without just cause. Number 5, harm none without just cause. Do not harm anyone unless it is truly deserved, following this guidance of La Santísima Muerte, who is non-judgmental but just. Number 4, respect and protect the devoted children of Santa Muerte. Respect and protect the devoted children of Santísima Muerte and God. Honor and support all members of the Church of la Santa Muerte and those who follow God Almighty, recognizing them as part of your spiritual family. Number 3, honor your earthly mother and father. Number 3, honor your earthly mother and father. Show love, respect, and gratitude to your parents, recognizing them as reflections of the divine and the vessels through which you entered this world. Number 2, venerate and celebrate la Santísima Muerte. Venerate and celebrate la Santísima Muerte. Show deep respect and devotion to la Santísima Muerte, adoring her on her feast days and every day, and acknowledge her as your sacred protector and guide through life and death. And number one, honor God Almighty as the supreme power above all. Honor God Almighty as the supreme power above all. Recognize and revere God Almighty as the creator of all things, including la Santísima Muerte, who serves under his divine will. Always remember that he sits above all of his creations. All right, so those are the 13 commandments, all right, that I have scoured the internet and books for. I took the liberty of, refining them down to 13 because 13 is her number. 10 is already owned by God. He has that sewed up. Thank you for that, Jamie Sunshine. For those that critique this, you're critiquing the culture, and thank you for pointing that out. It's my culture, and it's not nothing to poke fun of. So, it's culture, spirituality. It's something that people should respect. So, to each his own. And again, I feel very sorry for those that cannot accept others' practices, spirituality, so forth. If you guys follow the Messiah, you guys would be a little bit more tolerable. All right. So we're going to do the explanation of number 9, all right? You guys ready? Any questions so far? Yeah, this is on YouTube as well. I'm trying to grow my YouTube channel, so for those that don't follow me on YouTube, you can follow me on YouTube as well. Keep liking the screen if you're here, liking it. If you're on YouTube, if you don't mind, if you like what you're hearing, a thumbs up would be nice. I'm not here to force my opinions on spirituality or anything on you. If you're here of your own free will and accept that you're going to hear things that you may or may not like. All right? That's a disclaimer to both, I guess, YouTube and TikTok. Again, if you guys are here of your own free will and you want to criticize, go ahead. But I'm not going to acknowledge you as I read this. So if you're looking for attention, I'm not going to give it to you today. Awesome. All right, so the 9th commandment explained. All right, we're going to get into this. It'll be about 30 minutes or so. And I appreciate Son of the King. I appreciate it. Thank you. May God bless you always, man. I never see it as a form of disrespect when people try to educate me. It's just that, you got to be open to other things as well. It may not be for you, but it's for me. All right, commandment number 9, protect the weak, vulnerable, and children. The essence of protection and spiritual practices. Commandment number 9, protect the weak, vulnerable, and children, emphasizes the importance of providing safety, support, and advocacy for those who cannot protect themselves. La Santísima Muerte, the beloved holy death, is often depicted as a figure of compassion and strength. Her role extends beyond the transition from life to death, encompassing a broader protection of the vulnerable and innocent. This commandment calls upon her devotees to embody her protective nature, especially towards those who are weak, marginalized, and unable to defend themselves. This commandment's inclusion of children understands the importance of nurturing innocence and purity. Children represent the future, carrying with them the potential to shape the world. By protecting them, we safeguard that potential, ensuring that the next generation grows up in an environment of safety, love, and respect. This commandment not only addresses the moral responsibility of physical protection, but also emphasizes emotional, psychological, and spiritual support. The role of la Santísima Muerte as a protector. La Santísima Muerte is often viewed as a neutral, non-judgmental force. However, she is also seen as a fierce guardian, particularly for those who are marginalized or oppressed. Her image with a scythe and scales symbolizes justice and impartiality, and her protective mantle is believed to cover all who seek her help. Her devoted children often turn to her in times of need, asking for protection from harm, danger, and injustice. Her connection to the protection Her connection to protection is deeply rooted in her historical and cultural significance. In many communities, La Santísima Muerte is venerated as a powerful defender against violence, abuse, and exploitation. For the marginalized, the oppressed, and the voiceless, she is a source of solace and empowerment. She provides a sanctuary where they can find comfort, safety, and strength. This protective aspect of La Santísima Muerte is not limited to her individual devoted children. It extends to the entire communities. She's often called upon to protect families, neighborhoods, and even nations. Her role as a protector is a testament to her deep connection to humanity, and it serves as a reminder to her followers of their own responsibility to protect and defend those in need. Understanding weakness and vulnerability. To fully grasp the significance of this commandment, it is essential to understand what it means to be weak or vulnerable. Weakness and vulnerability can take many forms. They are not limited to physical frailty, but encompass a range of conditions that make individuals susceptible to harm. These conditions can be social, economic, emotional, psychological, or spiritual. Physical vulnerability. This refers to those who are unable to protect themselves due to physical limitations. This group includes the elderly, the disabled, and those suffering from illness or injury. Physical vulnerability makes individuals more prone to abuse, neglect, and exploitation, highlighting the need for vigilant protection. Emotional or psychological vulnerability. Individuals experiencing emotional or physical distress are also vulnerable. These include those suffering from mental health issues, trauma, or overwhelming stress. Emotional vulnerability can lead to isolation, making individuals more susceptible to manipulation, exploitation, or harm. Social and economic vulnerability. Poverty, discrimination, and social exclusion are forms of vulnerability that affect many people worldwide. Those living in poverty often lack access to resources and opportunities, making them more susceptible to exploitation and abuse. Social vulnerability includes those marginalized due to their race, gender, sexual orientation, or religious beliefs. Spiritual vulnerability can occur when individuals are disconnected from their faith or spiritual practices. It can lead to a sense of emptiness or loss of purpose, making them susceptible to neglect, influences, and manipulation. So, if you guys want to know what I'm reading from, this is a book that I'll be putting out by November. It is the 13 Commandments explained deeply. This is the ninth one, and it's going to be included in the Santa Muerte Bible that I'm trying to finish by November. All right, so I apologize. This is not anything that's been published yet, so my apologies. All right, so far you guys like what you're hearing or not? Let me know. The innocent children, a sacred trust. Children hold a special place in this commandment. They are seen as the most vulnerable members of society due to their innocence, dependence, and lack of experience. Children rely entirely on the adults around them for protection, guidance, and care. They are not yet equipped to navigate the complexities of the world, nor can they defend themselves against harm. In many cultures, children are regarded as sacred, embodying purity and the essence of life's potential. Protecting children is seen as a sacred duty, one that transcends personal or social interest. This duty involves ensuring that children grow up in an environment where they can feel safe, loved, and nurtured. It requires shielding them from harm, providing them with education and opportunities, and nurturing their emotional and spiritual development. All right, so we all know what we got to protect children from. Yeah, I'm writing this, Jamie Sunshine. So again, children are God's favored creatures, and Santa Muertes as well. So when we as a community don't stand up for children, we're failing them at a deeper level. When children are abused over and over and over, and all the telltales are there, and the powers that be don't do their job, we are failing our children in a massive, massive way. For any child that suffers at the hands of the people that are supposed to protect them, I feel a deep pain and sorrow for them. The people that have bore them or were entrusted with their care, when they betray that trust, those people are the worst of the worst in my book. And they deserve any punishment that man-made law, Santa Muerte law, or God law can punish and put upon them. That's how I feel. And again, they deserve there's no forgiveness for that. Historical and cultural context of protection. Throughout history, many societies have recognized the importance of protecting the weak and vulnerable. Ancient cultures often had specific laws and practices designed to safeguard those who could not protect themselves. For example, in many indigenous cultures, the elderly and children were given special care, recognizing their respective wisdom and innocence. Communities were built on principles of mutual support and protection, ensuring that no one was left to face hardships alone. It is crazy that past cultures valued the elderly and children more than our current society does. It is crazy to put my mind and wrap it around that. Other cultures before us have valued the children and elderly more and have protected them at much larger scales. Religions across the world have also emphasized the importance of protecting the vulnerable. Christianity speaks of caring for the least among us, while Islam teaches us about protecting the protection of orphans and the needy. Hinduism promotes the care of the elderly and respect for all life. In each of these traditions, the protection of the weak and vulnerable is seen as a reflection of a higher moral and spiritual principle. So across all spiritualities and religions, there's a deep moral value that we must uphold. We must uphold these moral values. Again, there's people saying this is witchcraft over here. When I'm talking about protecting the innocent and the weak and children, they label it as witchcraft. That's crazy. If I'm telling you that we're trying to protect children, that we should, the elderly and the weak, and it's witchcraft, man, that's crazy. If I was Christian or Catholic, it'd be a different tune. Oh, bravo. La Santísima Muerte's role as a protector draws on these deep cultures and spiritual traditions. Her followers see her as a universal force of justice and compassion. one who stands against oppression and defends the defenseless. Her devoted children believe that by aligning themselves with her protective nature, they are upholding a timeless and universal principle. Stories and legends of La Santísima Muerte's protection. Stories of La Santísima Muerte's intervention in the lives of her devoted children are numerous and varied. These stories often highlight their role as a protector, emphasizing her commitment to justice and her willingness to stand up for those who cannot defend themselves. One popular story involves a young woman who was being harassed and threatened by a powerful figure in her community. Despite her pleas for help, no one dared to intervene, fearing retribution. Desperate and afraid, she turned to La Santísima Muerte, praying for protection and justice. According to the legend, the woman's harasser was struck with a series of misfortunes, forcing him to leave the community. The young woman was finally able to live in peace and free from fear. Another story tells of a group of children who were being mistreated by a caretaker. The children's cry for help went unheard until a devoted person of Santa Muerte noticed their plight. The devoted prayer fervently the devotee prayed fervently for La Santísima Muerte for the children's protection. Soon after, the caretaker's actions were exposed, and the children were rescued and placed in a loving and caring environment. These stories illustrate the deep trust that devoted children place in La Santísima Muerte's protective power. They demonstrate her role as an advocate for justice and her commitment to defending the weak and the vulnerable. I'm gonna continue. I'm not gonna add any personal notes right now, just because I want to get through it, and then we'll go over it. I guess if for those that want to go over it, practical ways to uphold the ninth commandment. Upholding the commandment to protect the weak, vulnerable, and children requires both personal commitment and collective action. It is a responsibility that extends beyond prayer and ritual, calling for tangible actions that make a real difference in the lives of those in need. Advocacy and awareness. One of the most important ways to uphold this commandment is through advocacy and raising awareness about the issues that affect vulnerable populations. This can involve supporting organizations that work to protect children, the elderly, and marginalized groups. It can also include speaking out against injustice, discrimination, and abuse. Offering direct support, providing direct support to those in need is another way to fulfill this commandment. This can involve volunteering or at shelters, offering assistance to those in financial distress, or providing care and compassion to the elderly. Simple acts of kindness and support can have a profound impact on the lives of those who are vulnerable. Creating a safe space, ensuring that our homes, communities, and places of worship are safe spaces for the vulnerable is crucial. This involves being vigilant against any form of abuse, exploitation, or harm. It also includes promoting a culture of respect, empathy, and compassion, where everyone feels valued and protected. Education and empowerment plays a key role in protecting the vulnerable. By educating ourselves and others about the rights of children, the elderly, and the marginalized groups, we can better advocate for their protection. Empowering individuals with knowledge, skills, and opportunities help to reduce vulnerability and fosters resilience. So I'm gonna say, I do my part. When it's out, bro, I'll have a copy for you. I do my part by trying to help others on a daily basis. And it's not enough. And I foster this with you guys. I try to, I don't come on here just to sell you candles. I don't come on here just to try to make $1 off you. I don't come on here to try to exploit people. I come on here to try to spread her word. Spread this wisdom that I feel has been transferred into me by whatever purpose I was chosen, or I feel I was chosen. Maybe I'm delusional. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe, because that's what people think. But all I do is express love and compassion and all these good things, right? And sometimes you must be a wolf to protect the sheep. Sometimes you must put on the gloves and throw some blows to protect those that cannot protect themselves. So I practice in the light, but I do not refrain from jumping into the dark side. And that's my truth. And for the vulnerable and the weak, I have stepped into that role, both in the physical form and spiritual form. I do not back down from tyranny or from bullying or from any abuse of children or elderly. And that is my commitment to this commandment. Protecting the weak, vulnerable, and children is not only a moral and ethical duty, but also a spiritual practice. In the teachings of La Santísima Muerte, this protection is an act of love, compassion, and justice. It aligns with the divine principles of care and respect for all life. By fulfilling this commandment, we are not only protecting individuals, but also honoring the sacredness of life itself. This spiritual dimension involves recognizing the interconnectedness of all beings. When we protect the vulnerable, we are upholding the dignity and worth of every individual. We are acknowledging that each life is valuable and that we have a shared responsibility to ensure the safety and well being of others. This interconnectedness also means that the suffering of one affects the whole. By protecting those who are vulnerable, we contribute to the healing and harmony of the broader community. The role of ritual and prayer in protection. Ritual and prayer are powerful tools in the practice of protection. Devoted children of La Santísima Muerte often perform rituals specifically aimed at invoking her protective power. These rituals can include offerings, lighting candles, and reciting prayers that ask for her intervention and guidance. Prayer is a direct line of communication with La Santa Muerte, allowing her devoted children to express their concerns and seek her assistance. Prayers and rituals create a sacred space where the devoted children can connect with La Santa Muerte, feel her presence, and draw strength from her protective energy. These practices are not just about asking for help, they are about building a relationship with La Santísima Muerte, showing her respect and aligning oneself with her values. Through consistent prayer and ritual, devotees cultivate a sense of trust and reliance on her protection, knowing that she watches over them and those they love. Personal protection ritual. One of the common rituals involves creating an altar dedicated to La Santísima Muerte. The altar may include her statue, candles, flowers, and offerings such as food, drinks, or incense. Devoted devotees often place photographs of their loved ones or write their names on paper, asking La Santísima Muerte to protect them. Prayers are said, candles are lit, and offerings are made to express gratitude and seek her ongoing protection. Community protection ritual. Another powerful way to uphold this commandment is through community-based rituals. Group of devoted children may gather to perform protection rituals for the broader community, praying for the safety of children, the elderly, and vulnerable individuals. These communal rituals create a collective energy of protection and solidarity, strengthening the bonds within the community and reinforcing their shared commitment to this commandment. Many times we've got together here and we've prayed for the salvation of this world, the protection of children, the protection of those ill and infirm. You know what I'm saying? So we have fulfilled that commandment here time and time again. And time again, whenever someone asks me for a prayer that they're having a bad time, they're having health issues, they're having these moments of crisis, I try to be here for them. I try to be here because that is, again, another way as children of La Santa Muerte and God, we should react. We should be there for one another when it really, truly matters. And I'm not talking about just because you want a boy back that didn't call you back in 2 weeks. I'm talking about when it really matters. When it really matters, we must stand by each other. Sometimes a voice that you need to hear is not the person that you might expect to be there for you. I've spoken to people in Arkansas that didn't think they would ever speak to a person like me, and I've got them out of that black and dark space. I'm speaking to people across this country, and I've helped them when they are low and downtrodden. And it feels good. I'm gonna tell you, it feels good to be there for someone in a positive way to reinforce these values of protection and care for those people that are marginalized, going through a terrible financial, spiritual, physical, or emotional moment. As devoted children of Santa Muerte, that's our duty. As a Christian, as a Catholic, as a Muslim, as anyone of faith, that should be your duty. That should be your duty. Daily prayer for protection. Devotees may also incorporate prayers for protection into their daily routine. A simple prayer each morning asking for La Santísima Muerte's guidance and protection throughout the day serves as a constant reminder of her presence and support. This daily practice reinforces the devotee's commitment to protecting the vulnerable and keep them attuned to the needs of others. Every day, you can say a quick prayer, and you don't even got to be devoted to Santa Muerte. A quick prayer to God for your safety, the safety of your family and loved ones, the safety for your community and your country, or whatever you want to pray for. And it could be a quick 1, 2, 3. Please take care of me and my peeps. Ethical and moral consideration in protection. While the commandment to protect the weak, vulnerable, and children is clear, the way in which we carry this out, protection can raise complex ethical and moral questions. For example, in seeking to protect someone, how do we balance their safety with their autonomy? I need to speak that word better. What are the boundaries of protection, and how do we avoid becoming overprotective or controlling? Protecting others should not come at the expense of their independence. It is important to respect the dignity and personal choices of those we seek to protect. This involves listening to their needs, understanding their perspectives, and empowering them to make decisions for themselves. Protection should be about offering support and exerting control. So I pray for my family, for my children, my parents, and I pray to La Santísima Muerte for their safety and God. But I don't really put my spirituality on them. Like, you got to follow this and da, 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 da. Do it out of your kindness of your heart. Whatever you believe in is what you should believe in. And don't force it upon others, I guess is what I'm trying to say. In our efforts to protect, we must also be mindful of the potential for unintended harm. Overprotectiveness can sometimes lead to dependency or a sense of helplessness. It is important to provide support in a way that fosters resilience and self-reliance, helping individuals build the skills and confidence they need to protect themselves. Protecting the vulnerable often involves standing up against injustice and wrongdoing. In doing so, it is important to balance the sense of justice with compassion. Even those who cause harm may be acting out of their own pain or vulnerability. While it is necessary to hold people accountable for their actions, we should also strive to approach situations with empathy and understanding. Not everyone's an asshole because they were born an asshole, I guess. Some people were made into these people that lash out at the world. To some sense, some people that do hurting are victims as well. But some people use that victimization as an excuse, though, to hurt others. So the balance must be found. You must find that balance. If you're a protector, you must know the balance. One of the key aspects of fulfilling this commandment is remaining vigilant and aware of the needs of those around us. Vulnerability is not always visible, and those who need protection may not always ask for help. It is important to cultivate a sense of awareness and sensitivity, being attuned to the signs of vulnerability and distress. Observing signs of abuse or neglect. Be attentive to signs of abuse and neglect, whether physical, emotional, or psychological. Changes in behavior, unexplained injuries, withdrawal, or expressions of fear can be indications that someone is in need of protection. By remaining vigilant, we can intervene early and provide the necessary support. Sometimes those who are vulnerable simply need someone to listen. By offering a compassionate ear and showing empathy, we create a safe space where individuals can express their fears, concerns, and needs. Listening without judgment allows people to feel heard and valued, and it can be the first step in offering meaningful support. I'm going to say this, and I say it to everybody I come across. I've offered an ear to those that need to be heard, and I feel very strongly that sometimes someone just needs to talk to somebody to get those feelings out, and they will come to the conclusion of what they need to do. But sometimes they need that first little push towards the right thing. Creating a culture of care. In our communities and relationships, we should strive to create a culture of care and mutual support. This involves promoting kindness, respect, and understanding, and actively looking out for one another. By fostering a sense of community where everyone feels responsible for the well-being of others, we create an environment where the weak and vulnerable can thrive. The dark side of protection when justice requires force. While La Santísima Muerte is often seen as a figure of compassion and mercy, she is also a force of justice. Her role as a protector sometimes involves confronting those who seek to harm the weak and vulnerable. In some cases, the confrontation may require forceful action, reflecting the darker aspect of her nature. La Santísima Muerte is impartial, yet she does not tolerate injustice. When individuals commit acts of cruelty, exploitation, or abuse, they may invoke her wrath. Stories and legends speak of those who sought to harm others, only to find themselves facing misfortune, illness, or other forms of retribution. The balance of justice and mercy. La Santísima Muerte dark side does not contradict her role as a protector. Rather, it complements it. Her commitment to justice means that she will not stand by while innocent people suffer. In her wisdom, she knows when to show mercy and when to administer justice. This duality is a reflection of the complex nature of protection, which sometimes requires tough decisions and actions. I'm going to say this. I am a peaceful man now, but I'm a fierce protector of my family and children. I am a fierce protector of my children, my parents, my brother, my sisters, my nephews and nieces, and anyone under my care. That includes her followers. I've become a source of spirituality to lots of people, and I don't take that role lightly. So whenever anyone that follows me and is a true follower of mine and hers, I will act in the same way as I would protect my family. Understanding the consequences. It is important for devoted children to understand that invoking or dark aspects of La Santísima Muerte's protection should not be done lightly. Seeking justice through force or retribution carries consequences, and this should only be pursued when absolutely necessary. Devotees are encouraged to approach these situations with caution, ensuring that their actions are aligned with the genuine sense of justice and compassion. Here's the thing. This is where I do a lot of counseling, because some people want to do the most horrendous things to people that have done them wrong, but sometimes the penalty that they're asking for does not fit the crime. So it is my duty to guide those people in the right direction. But again, understanding her means understanding her duality, the light and the darkness, the love and the pain. She's duality incarnate. She is non-judgmental, and for those people that seek her vengeance to correct traumas, injustices, she lends herself to that. But here's the thing is, when someone does something to you in a very heinous way, you and her become karma. That does not come back to you. When someone has unjustly made you suffer and you ask her for retribution, you and you give her the power to become your karma. And karma could not come back to you if you were wronged from the get-go. Thank you for my gifts there. Thank you so much, Monica, for that. Now, here's the thing is, if you ask for her to really drop the hammer on someone that does not deserve it, then you are risking you being put on the chopping block if you're being unjust. For those that do harm to others just because, it all comes full circle. It all comes around. Spiritually, what goes around comes around. If you are a person that is hateful and is just someone that is miserable and wishes misery upon others, and you have the ways to do it, eventually you will be judged. And eventually you will get your, you will reap what you sow. So again, whenever I come across people that want some kind of justice for certain aspects of what happened, I try to guide them in the correct way to do it. And again, a lot of people deserve what they get. And again, it's not up to us, but eventually it all happens. Judgment will come for us all. But sometimes we need to further that justice along a little bit quicker. And that's just my opinion. I like the light. I practice positivity, but I am Old Testament Bible. Tooth for a tooth. Ojo por ojo, diente por diente. Eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. That's biblical. And we are allowed to protect ourselves in every which way or form. Let it be spiritual, physical, emotionally. We are allowed to protect ourselves. That is what God given. As devoted the commandment to protect the weak, vulnerable, and children, La Santa Muerte serves as a guide and a source of strength. Her presence provides comfort and assurance, reminding us that we are never alone in our efforts to do what is right. By turning to her in prayer and ritual, we seek her wisdom and guidance, ask for help in making the right decisions and taking the right actions. Her role as a guide also involves teaching us the values of compassion, empathy, and justice. Through our devotion to her, we learn to embody these values in our own lives, becoming protectors, not just in name, but in action. We are inspired to be vigilant, to seek out against injustice, and to offer our support to those in need. Protect the weak, vulnerable, and children calls upon us to live with deep sense of responsibility and compassion. It reminds us that the strength of our character is measured not by how we treat the powerful, but by how we care for those who are powerless. It challenges us to stand up for justice, to offer our support, and to create a world where everyone feels safe and valued. By honoring this commitment and commandment, we honor La Santísima Muerte, who embodies the balance of mercy and justice. We align ourselves with a higher moral and spiritual calling, one that transcends our individual interests and connects us to the broader human family. We become not just followers, but true devotees, living in the spirit of protection and care of that defines the sacred relationship between La Santísima Muerte and her faithful. In fulfilling this commandment, we create a legacy of love, compassion, and justice that will continue to resonate through generations, just as La Santísima Muerte's protective presence continues to watch over us all. And that is that. So that's the end of that explanation. I hope you guys liked it. I didn't get that much hate, I think, or I wasn't looking at it. Yo, hola, dude. Hola, Locatina 143. So again, at this moment, for those that were here for the entirety or caught at least half of it, what's your feedback? Hey, bro, I'm gonna say this over here on YouTube. Sometimes when you are honest is when people hate you the most. I've always spoken the truth, and I am an acquired taste by many. So, bro, keep being you. Be you. Always be you. All right. So, thank you for that, Yvette. Thank you for that. Amen. So, Aurora, you were here for the entirety? I think. What did you think? Who else was here for this explanation of the Ninth Commandment? Tell me what your thoughts are. Tell me what you thought. I'm open to both positive and negative feedback. And again, I know those people are probably dying to give me some negative feedback. But how can you give that a negative feedback though? Jackie Villa, thank you. Good night. Good night. No feedback? Nothing, 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 nothing. Gracias, Oscar Mares. So no, I love it, bro. All right, I'll get back to you, Jay. Today, I had to go do some stuff, man. I'll get back to y'all. That's my purpose, is to explain things a bit further. There is a light and a darkness here, and I understand that. Significado de soñar mucho la Santa Muerte, tal vez quiera algo con usted. So, trate de ver si puede contactarse con ella, a ver si le responde. I'm looking, Jamie Sunshine, to have it out by November. I want to have it out before November 2nd, which is Day of the Dead. So I've been writing a lot and trying to get this done. I want to give it a true sense of a biblical form, the biblical side. We're going to go into the commandments, and then all the explanations of the commandments and every other prayer that I can get in there to make it a nice fat book. I've been writing it for about 2 years, and I hope that I do her justice. And again, I appreciate both TikTok and YouTube for being here. Um, Thank you, Yvette. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that so much. Um, like I pour my thoughts and mind and heart into this effort. So again, I'm not here just to again sell you something or BS you. Um, I'm not gonna be here lighting candles, making them look like elotes. That's not my thing. I do offer prayer. I offer readings. I offer works. Um, I'm not gonna lie. Like my day needs to be longer sometimes. But I try my best, and I will keep it up. Tomorrow, my day's gonna be a little bit long. I gotta get up in the morning because my son he has an award tomorrow, and I like to be there for all his little celebrations. So tomorrow I'm gonna be out of my house by probably 6 in the morning, and I won't be back till nighttime. So I'm gonna do the eighth installment tomorrow night. It might be late, but I'm gonna do it. I'm committed to this, and I want to make sure everyone has it. So it's gonna be on YouTube for prosperity. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So again, tomorrow I'm already gonna apologize. I'm backed up with calling some of you back. I need to do some readings, so I gotta figure that out over the weekend. I'll schedule some readings for those that need it. And for trabajos, inbox me. I know people going through hard times or whatever. If you guys need any kind of spiritual guidance, spiritual works, I'm here. So look, as far as my lives, I'm trying to find more balance. Tomorrow I might come on after the You know what? I might come back tonight and do some yes or no questions. That's when I bring more people in. Um, and again, I appreciate those that come for the real lessons. Oh, I was thinking, I've been busy. My bad. I'm so sorry. It's going good so far, Andrea. Thank you so very much. All right. Thank you so much for that, Jamie Sunshine. Everyone over on YouTube, be blessed. I'm gonna stop the live on YouTube so that it shuts down and it posts up, and that way people can have it for future references. Thank you so much for the love. Thank you so much for the hate. Thank you so much for being here. All right, everyone, have a blessed night. I'll be back tomorrow with the next installment, which is going to be the eighth commandment explained. These things take about 45 minutes, and then with all the jibber jabber that I do, it could be an hour. So thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you all so very, very, very much. Everyone have a blessed, 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 blessed night. Everybody, thank you over here on YouTube.